Now to go over what happened today in court in the Scott Peterson case, we're joined live here with our legal analyst, Michael Cardoza, so we can discuss this more. Michael, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure.
So what do you make of what happened today? What step is this in the case now to possibly, as the Innocence Project is saying, get the right person behind bars?
Well, first of all, the fact the Innocence Project took this case speaks volumes. They don't take many of the cases that are presented to them. So in my mind, I wonder, what do you guys know that we don't know about this case that you've already discovered, but you're not telling us? That being said, today was what they call a case management. It means, where are both sides going? That's the question of the judge. Let's set some dates ahead. I think they have 3 court dates in April, May, and then June. So the court can keep track of what's going on. I'm really excited about this because I guarantee you that the Innocence Project, with the attorneys that they have and how smart those people are and the money they have to vet this case, to investigate it, I'm really excited for them to go through all of the evidence in the case. And finally, at the end of it, we can put to rest, number one, whether he gets a new trial or whether that's the end of it, because this is the end of the road for Scott Peterson unless they come up with some new evidence.
This is his last chance here to get possibly another court. So some of this new evidence that the Innocence Project is going to be looking at, that they want to examine, is this burnt out van that was found near the Peterson home around the time of Laci's disappearance. And they also want some new DNA testing done on blood that was found inside the van. I would imagine that the way DNA testing was done back in 2002, 3, 4 is much different than it is now. But those are the 2 key things that I'm gathering. Maybe you know something else you could share with us that the Innocence Project is really looking at, is like, well, maybe there's more to what has been said already.
Well, to be clear, here's what's important about that. Laci went missing, and on that day, there's a question of whether there was a burglary taking place across the street at the house across the street, and whether Laci came upon the burglars and they took her in that van and she left DNA in that van. Because if they find DNA in that van of Laci's, that's circumstantial evidence that's going to, in essence, help Scott Peterson immensely. And the question is, did that burglary happen on the day that she went missing, or did it happen the day after? Because if it happened the day after, then there's nothing to do with Laci disappearing the day before. Here's what I'm excited about. I am telling you, the discovery, the requests for information from the Innocence Project to the district attorney's office is going to be complete, thorough questions about, let us see everything you have that has to do with this case. The DA's office, they were in court today. In fact, the ex-district attorney of the county was in court today, even though I believe she's retired now. She was in court along with Dave Harris, who is still in Modesto as a DA. They're going to fight some of that discovery and say, no, we're not going to give it, or it's not important. There are going to be some Donnybrooks in that courtroom, because I'm telling you, this Innocence Project is thorough. They do an intelligent investigation, and I guess it's going to be much more thorough than the defense was able to do back when this case was being tried. So I'm excited about seeing, okay, what do you have, DA's office? What do you have, police department, that you didn't give to the defense back during the trial, if anything?
So does the time start now for the Innocence Project in order to conduct its investigation? They were given a tight 6-month deadline, so they're going to be looking at new and old evidence. And there is also, I have a question on the other side of that about what happens next.
Sure. Well, they've been given 6 months by the judge to do this discovery. But keep in mind, that date can be moved depending on how cooperative the defense is and how cooperative the DA's office is in giving up the evidence that they have, the documentary, the scientific evidence, because they may not want to give some of that up to the defense. So if the judge sees that, the judge may say, wait a minute, I know I put this out 6 months, but we're going to need more time. The judge will decide, because both sides will come into court and argue about certain pieces of evidence. Can the DA give us, or will the DA give us, for example, a hammer that was found in the house or at the van, so we can do new DNA testing? DA might go, we're not giving it to you. Has nothing to do with the case. Innocent Project asks the court, no, we need it. Order them to give it to us. So that's why I say there are going to be some Donnybrooks in court about what the DA's office and the police department has to give up. What's in the future? Arguments like that until they get what, if anything, they need. Either at the end they're going to shut it down, say we couldn't find anything, or they will bring newly discovered exculpatory evidence motion, and the court will then decide if Scott Peterson gets a new trial. The next issue then will be, where will it be tried?
There are the judge has set a couple of other dates, some in April, May, and June, a hearing on a motion to seal, some DNA testing motions. I mean, so this is like moving along here. But are we just like, is the Innocence Project just stirring something up again that doesn't need to be poked at?
No, I think it needs to be poked at. I said from the get-go, and I've done a lot on this case. I did a lot of commentary on the case. And I was also asked by the defense to do a mock cross-examination of Scott Peterson. So I know an awful lot about this case. So no, they're not just poking in the dark. They're not doing a fishing expedition. And as I said at the beginning of this interview, Innocent Project doesn't take every case. They only take ones that they think they can make a difference in. So that's why I say, do they know something we don't know? Or have they simply seen something that they feel that there wasn't a full and complete investigation into? For example, the mattress in the truck, or the burglary that allegedly happened across the street on the day that Lacey went missing. They're going to look at all of that. So that's why I say, no, they're just not stirring something up they shouldn't. They don't do that. They have enough other cases to look at. So I'm excited to see what happens. And I guarantee you they are going to do a complete investigation and vetting of this case. I'm really excited for it. And I'm excited for the new court hearings, because like I said, there are going to be some Donnybrooks in that courtroom about what the DA and cops should give up.
And Peterson is going to appear via video for all three. He doesn't have to go there in person?
No, he doesn't. And, you know, I don't blame him. He's out in Mule Creek. And when they're housed somewhere in state prison, to disrupt their day, put them in a bus, take them to county jail, they don't want to do all of that. And he knows it's not going to make any difference to the legal arguments, whether he's in court or in Mule Creek. So I completely get what he's doing. But my heart does go out to the Rocha family, because they've had enough of this. But notwithstanding, you got to be sure that Scott Peterson is in fact guilty and not an innocent man sitting in prison. But again, my heart does go out to that family. They've been put through enough, God knows.
It's been a long time coming to today. Michael Cardoza, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate your time so we can talk a little bit more about this.
All right, you take care. Stay healthy.
You too.